Good evening. We will call this meeting to order. Kingston Springs Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for November 29, 2023. Have a roll call of voting members. Bob Sanders.
Here.
Ginger Hockenberg.
Here.
Bridget Wilson. James Polanski. Here. Joanna Gupton.
Here.
Okay. We do have a quorum, or excuse me, non-voting staff. Let me identify who is here. Sharon Armstrong.
Here.
John Lawless.
Here.
Tim Potter. Absent. We do have a declaration. I will declare this as a quorum. I would like to have a motion to approve the February 2nd, 2023 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting minutes.
So moved.
Bob.
Second, Ginger.
Motion to approve the February 2nd, 2023 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting minutes. Passes. Motion.
Well, you gotta have.
We didn't vote.
Oh, we have to vote. I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now you can say.
Motion passes.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Now if we had dinner, it'd be a complete evening.
I'm telling you. We also have to approve the November 29th Board of Zoning Appeals meeting agenda. I can have a motion.
Move for the approve the agenda, please.
Second.
Call for a vote.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All board members are in agreement. Motion so passes. I will now open the floor for any input or concerns that someone may have. Now is your chance to speak for the board.
That would be for the new business before us tonight. The new business before us tonight, anyone
Anybody want
have
to say
any
anything?
comments?
What is the business of tonight? We don't know what the agenda, what we're gonna talk, is it on Sims Heights Road?
Yes.
There's a thing over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally missed that.
Oh, okay.
Quite all
I'm
right.
sorry.
We should have been more in tune and told you it was there.
I don't come up here that often.
Oh, that's
I was
okay.
gonna say, you look fairly new to me.
That's all right.
Madam Chairman, if I may
Yes.
suggest, if we could suspend comments, then we'll cover the initial
Sure.
conversation on the agenda, and they will have some idea of what they're commenting on.
Okay.
Great.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Item 7.
Do we have any old business? Any old business? None? All right. We will move forward then to our new business, and this is a request for a 32-foot width of lot variance at the setback line of 125 feet required in the zoning ordinance, Town of Kingston Springs. Article 7, Section 7.060, Subpart A for the parcel located on Sims Heights Road, map 99, parcel 2.07, containing 1.6 acres. Property is zoned R1A, low density residential district. And we did suspend any comments. I would now open the floor to any comments from anybody. If you want to say anything about it. ask
Yeah,
questions.
okay, so,
If you would, please state your name, your address, and come forward to the podium.
Go ahead.
oh, stand up here?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's
John,
okay.
John Ward. I live 1060 Sims Heights Road, basically across the street
Oh, okay.
from this property. So, but the way I understand it, it's a 35-foot variance is what somebody's asking for, is that right? Smaller?
It's too narrow.
It's too narrow.
Yes.
What's the legal, minimum legal distance that you need a road frontage? That's what I couldn't
Address
find.
that.
Yes, I would.
This is what's known in planning world and the legal world as a lot of record. This lot was created in 1971, before a zoning ordinance was ever adopted for this town. The zoning ordinance currently requires that the lot be 125 feet wide at the setback line. Obviously, this lot cannot meet that, so it's 92 feet wide. 93 almost. It requires a variance of 32 feet for the width of the lot at the setback line. Because this is a lot of record, there are special laws and rules that apply to it because it existed before the zoning ordinance was put into effect.
Oh.
So you've probably heard over the years things like non-conforming, grandfathering, that applies to this lot. So the process is that if they have a lot of record that was created before the zoning ordinance was adopted by the jurisdiction, then the process is they bring that request and put on the public record what it lacks in complying with the current zoning ordinance. And they apply for an appeal. The appeals in these cases are not something that they can really deny because the lot existed before they did and before the zoning ordinance did. It's a formality that allows them to get a zoning compliance certificate
Oh, I
for the
see.
construction of a single-family
Yeah,
property.
okay. Well, there's nothing here I'm gonna say tonight that it's gonna probably change anybody's opinion,
No,
I
we're not
guess.
changing any zoning. It's
Right.
simply this lot has been there for 52 years.
So this frontage, the distance, it's lot specific, it sounds like. There's like no minimum for every property.
No, it's specific to this lot because it predates the requirement for the lot width.
I gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
It was here before the ordinance was. So there are many lots that exist throughout jurisdictions all over the country that have
Yeah.
the same circumstance.
Okay.
If it was divided before the zoning ordinance, this is the process for them to gain zoning compliance.
Okay, and get a variance for that, even though really in reality it should be wider than,
Right, it should be 125 feet at the setback line, but he cannot comply. When there's a circumstance where the property owner cannot comply, he doesn't own the lot next door, so he can't widen it.
yeah.
And there's no more land on the other side that he can acquire that's for sale. It's a lot of record. It's very specific, and I'll read it to you from the ordinance and from the state statute. This comes directly from Tennessee
Oh,
law.
I don't know if
that
that's
will
necessary.
help you.
No, that's fine.
If he owned two lots, and he was in this circumstance, he would have to combine them in order to make a
To make it work.
That's not.
Okay,
But this lot predated, you will find this to be very common in agricultural areas where the minimum agricultural acreage is 5 acres, but yet the court recognizes that families sometimes take an acre so their children can build a house on the farm. It's kind of that same circumstance.
oh, I see,
Okay.
okay.
Does that help at all?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't know what to say, but other than, you know, I'm not for it other than that, so.
Well, for clarity's sake, the, anything buildable on this property would be required to fall in line with the 92 width
That is correct.
and the 492 or 504
They will
length of the
still be
property.
subject to the side setback boundaries. They're
Correct.
still subject to the front setback boundary. They are still subject to the rear setback boundary. The only variance that can be allowed in this circumstance is the zoning ordinance has a requirement in R1A that there is 125 feet of width at the setback line, where the front setback is.
Okay,
They cannot meet that circumstances. The lot was created before the.
before that,
So that'll be the only difference.
did you guys want to
Yes.
say anything at all?
No, that helps. Yeah.
Well, what it means is that the side setbacks come into play where you still have to have a side setback. So if you encroach on that or the front,
Uh-huh.
you may have to change the dimensions of the house.
Right, or make it so small it's ridiculous.
Or make it sideways
Yeah.
and go backwards.
Right,
That's the only situation that you have. And because we can't change the old, as Sharon said, the old plot.
right.
So that is one concern, that you have to meet the setbacks. And that may figure into how you want to build the house.
I got you.
It also figures into the advice of staff to them before they vote, because this is what's known as a provisional variance.
Oh, I see.
And the statute also states that to the degree that the lot allows, they have to comply with every other restriction.
Yeah,
So this is simply, you will still have 20 feet sideline boundary, still have the rear, still have the
Okay.
front. Okay.
because I'm thinking if something like this passes, which is I'm not in favor of, it seems like that a lot of people would want this.
No, they
No,
can't.
they can't, because,
Yeah, that's what we were unclear of.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
and I would be, I'd be like y'all, I'd want to know that too.
Yeah.
Right. It's a good question to ask.
Very good question.
Yeah,
But there are very few lots that have this circumstance where the lot was created so long ago,
Before,
right?
yeah, I got you.
That the ordinance was not there. They
Okay.
can't create a new lot under this variance.
Okay.
Okay?
Can I ask what your objection is?
My objection, I'm just not in favor of it. It seems to me that they would want to build a real small, teeny tiny house instead of a normal sized
Tall,
house.
skinny. They're like,
Yeah.
Skinny and just awkward looking.
Changing the way Kingston Springs looks.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially I'm across
So
the
it's
street
an
from.
aesthetic.
Well, yeah, that,
Aesthetically, you don't.
right.
And while I understand that concern and the character of the neighborhood, I understand what you're saying. However, we can't regulate that. State
Well, no.
statute says we
Yeah, yeah.
can't
That's
tell
just my
them
opinion,
what
you know.
kind and style of house that,
Yeah.
just as you're in, maybe you live in a chateau style house and you like it and your neighbor hates it.
Yes.
It's kind of goes
Yeah.
for everybody.
Because if
So-
you have an oddball looking house, I mean, how would that in the future even affect the price of our house, you know?
No.
A comp or whatever you'd
It really,
say.
you know, for every person that dislikes a style, someone else
Someone likes
likes
it.
it.
Yeah.
So the way appraisal values are done, if you're familiar with an appraisal, and I won't speak to this long because I don't want to hold anybody too long, but your appraisal value is a per square foot. So it's based on the newness of construction, the type of material, that type of thing, and the aesthetic value or look of the house doesn't weigh in on that factor.
Okay,
So it has really no impact.
okay.
And I want to
it
make it,
may actually serve, because the lot will now be built out, it may serve to slightly elevate your property values.
Oh, good.
Because
See,
right now
that's-
you just
I'm in
have a
favor of
vacant
that.
empty lot.
I do want to make it very clear that should this variance be allowed, all other rules and regulations regarding the subdivision, the HOA, anything else would apply to any construction that would occur on this piece of property, or this
Okay.
parcel.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anything else? Questions?
There's not an HOA, so that doesn't come into play. But I mean, that is a very good point. Any questions?
Is there any disadvantage to us granting this?
Say that again.
Is there
I'm
any
sorry.
disadvantage to us granting this?
The disadvantage to not granting this could be an appellate filing with the state court, who would likely overturn your denial because the state statute provides for it at the state level.
Just out of curiosity, I'm going to ask this question. Nobody has to answer if they don't want to. Is it a vacant lot directly beside this lot?
Yes.
There
It's not, it's acres and acres and acres. I do know
Behind it,
people that,
not next to the side of it.
no, beside
Up
it.
in.
Yeah.
Directly beside it.
Yes.
It's between her home and the lot that was just sold, and it goes way back and opens up. It's
There
acres
is
and
a
acres.
50-foot flag on the parcel next door that is attached to a relatively large acreage. That this has zero bearing on that.
Right. Okay.
They don't have road frontage, just like that.
Okay.
The lot
And then
next to it doesn't have the road.
Yeah.
So,
The lot next to it does not have the road frontage?
It does not, which is a
It opens up on the other
very
side.
inhibiting factor, but we can't discuss
True,
that.
true,
We've
that's
got to
fine.
stick
She will
to
always remind you
this.
what you can't talk about.
Right,
She's
right.
Very
And-
snippy about it.
And, yeah, to make this this buildable, we'll obviously go through who am I thinking of? The codes department, and to make sure everything works out well. So, I understand your concerns completely. Sometimes I look at my neighbors and just go, are you really gonna do that?
Well, and if I can just say, I mean, there's things that we know people in our neighborhood who have tried to build on their own property, things that, and they were told no by codes. You just can't build it that way, or you have to do this to
Correct.
have it there and whatnot. And so, that's what I was thinking, okay, if this is what is truly supposed to be this amount of feet, how is that gonna roll? We just needed to understand how that was gonna be when you can't build a detached garage with ease on your own property. you know, when you want
Correct.
to say so.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
It's just, I just needed to understand that whole part.
Okay. All right. So you're comfortable with it now?
I am.
All right.
I mean, no, but yes. Yes, I understand that.
You're comfortable with the understanding of what needs to be done?
I am. Thank you.
I would like to proffer that the property owner is here, if you had any questions of the property owner. I don't, it's not necessary, it's formality, so it's up to you.
Anybody have any questions for the property owner?
What kind of house is gonna be built? Is it gonna be ranch, or is it gonna be a high-rise? Is it gonna be, because if I can build a high-rise out there, I might want to.
I think, I don't know who I'm gonna sell it to right now, I have a couple of offers
Oh,
on it, but one of them is a local guy that knows all the regs, and he builds some really nice houses. That's
Would you mind telling me who it is?
No.
Northcutt.
Dayton does a good job, yeah. Okay.
I'm just telling you, it's not a sad deal, but I
Be
mean,
careful what we say and what we do.
There's a
Property is for
couple of people
sale,
offered.
he's the owner, you gotta stop there.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that the restrictions for construction are single family only, it's an R1A district, so it can only be single family.
And
It
based on.
cannot be taller than 3 stories,
Still build a 3-story single family.
and I understand.
Sure.
If there are also the zoning restrictions
Alright.
that this does not comply
Okay.
with still.
It's gonna be pretty tight to build a ranch with a double garage now. But,
We need to entertain
and
the
this
motion
will,
before we get
this
too
will,
far.
this will, all be put out with the codes department, and it'll have to go through planning and all that kind of stuff, just to make sure that, the plans are adopted and fit within the confines of what we have here, 92. And am I correct on this?
That is correct.
Because if it's 92 feet wide, there can only be one entrance, one driveway into that property?
That's the case everywhere, that you don't have 335 feet of separation between driveways.
All right.
something.
Do I have a motion?
It needs to be very specific.
Yes, I'm about ready to do that.
If I may make a suggestion at the board's discretion,
I'm open for that one.
you can either entertain a motion to approve or deny the following statement. Under the variance procedure 7.060 for a lot of record recorded in the Register of Deeds Office of Cheatham County, a variance specifically for 32 feet of lot width at the setback line. Now, you preface that with motion to approve or motion to deny, at your pleasure.
Make a motion that we approve the motion that was just brought before the board.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Any opposed? Motion passes? So noted. We don't have any other business for this evening, so it is now 5:49 and this meeting has adjourned. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.